Chapter 3. Life now became rather difficult for the Durbeyfields. Without Prince to carry loads, John Durbeyfield could not buy and sell as he used to. He had never worked hard or regularly, and now he only occasionally felt like working. Tess wondered how she could help her parents. One day her mother made a suggestion.
"It's lucky we've found out about your noble blood, Tess. Do you know there's a very rich lady called Mrs. d'Urberville living on the other side of the wood? She must be our relation. You must go to her and claim relationship with her and ask for some help in our trouble."
"I wouldn't like to do that," said Tess. "If there is such a lady, it would be enough to be friendly. We can't expect help from her."
"You could persuade anybody, my dear. Besides, something else might happen. You never know."
And her mother nodded wisely. "I'd rather try to get work," said Tess sadly.
"What do you say, Durbeyfield?" said his wife, turning to him. "I don't like my children asking for help," said he proudly. "I'm the head of the oldest branch of the family, and a noble family like ours shouldn't have to ask for help."
Tess could not accept his reasons for not going. "Well, as I killed the horse, Mother, I suppose I ought to go. But don't start thinking about her finding a husband for me."
"Who said I had such an idea?" asked Joan innocently.
"I know you, Mother, but I'll go." Next morning, Tess walked to Shaston, a town she hardly knew, and went on by wagon to Trantridge. The Vale of Blackmoor was her only world, and she had never been far outside the valley. All the knowledge she had came from her lessons in the village school, which she had left a year or two earlier. As soon as she left school, she had tried to earn a little money by helping in the fields, or milking cows, or making butter. She blamed her mother for thoughtlessly producing so many children. Joan Durbeyfield was like a child herself, and never thought about the future. It was Tess who worried and worked and felt responsible for her little brothers and sisters. So, naturally, it was Tess who should represent her family at the d'Urberville home. From Trantridge she walked up a hill, and turning a corner saw the house. She stopped in amazement. It was large and almost new, a rich red against the green of the bushes around it. Behind it lay the woods called the Chase, an ancient forest. There were greenhouses and well-kept gardens. There was no lack of money here. Tess hesitated, almost frightened. "I thought we were an old family," she said to herself. "But this is all new." She wished she had not come. She was right in a way. All this was owned by the d'Urbervilles, or the Stoke d'Urbervilles, as they called themselves at first. The Stokes were a northern business family, who took an old-sounding name to add to their own when they moved into the south. So Tess was more of a d'Urberville than any of them, but did not know it. A young man appeared in the garden. He looked about 24, and was tall and dark, with full red lips and a black moustache curled at the ends.
"Well, my beauty, what can I do for you?" he said, looking interestedly at her. "I'm Mr. d'Urberville."
It needed all Tess's courage to reply. "I came to see your mother, sir."
"I'm afraid you can't see her. She's ill. What do you want to see her about?"
I... It seems so foolish."
"Never mind," said he kindly. "I like foolish things. Try again, my dear."
"I came, sir, to tell you we are of the same family as you."
"Aha! Poor relations?"
"Yes."
"Stokes?"
"No, d'Urbervilles."
"Oh, yes, of course. I mean d'Urbervilles."
"We have several proofs that we are d'Urbervilles. We have an old silver spoon and a seal at home,
But Mother uses a spoon to stir the soup. Mother said we ought to tell you, as we are the oldest branch of the family, and we've lost our horse in an accident."
"Very kind of your mother," said Alec d'Urberville, "and I certainly don't regret it." He looked admiringly at Tess, whose face blushed a deep pink. "And so you've come on a friendly visit?"
"I suppose I have," murmured Tess, looking uncomfortable.
"Let us walk round the gardens until you have to go home, my pretty cousin."
Tess wanted to leave as soon as possible, but the young man insisted. He took her to the greenhouses.
"Do you like strawberries?" he asked.
"Yes," said Tess, "when they're ready."
"These are ready now."
And so saying, d'Urberville picked one and held it to her mouth. "No, no," she said. "I'd rather take it myself." But Alec put it into her mouth. He put roses into her hair and filled her basket with strawberries and flowers. He gave her food to eat and watched her while he quietly smoked a cigarette. She looked more adult and womanly than she really was. Alec could not take his eyes off her. She did not know, as she smiled innocently at the flowers, that behind the cigarette smoke was the cause of future sorrow in her life.
"What is your name?" asked Alec.
"Tess Durbeyfield. We live at Marlott."
"I must see if my mother can find a place for you."
They said goodbye, and she set off home carrying her strawberries and flowers. This, then, was the beginning. Why did she have to meet the wrong man, and one who was so strongly attracted to her? Yet to the right man, she was only a half-forgotten impression from an evening's dancing in a country field. In life, the right man to love hardly ever comes at the right time for loving. Nature does not often answer a call for love until the caller is tired of calling. In this case, as in millions, it was not the two halves of a perfect whole who met. A missing half wandered somewhere else, arriving much later. This delay was to have tragic results.